I received a call from my brother the other day, kind of tripped me out. He called me, he was like, I guess that was a report on the news about this shooting that went on in San Juan, in San Juan. Uh, as far as I know, it was it was some gang related thing. I mean, I could be right. That's the information I was getting. Anyway, he came with he was the approach. He was like, man, you need to be strapped up over there. Because I imagine the way it's been broadcast, it was that this kind of thing happens all the time. And on the news report that I saw, at least, what it said was, one of the things that sort of slipped by everybody was, yeah, there's crime here, just like there's crime anywhere else in the world. But overall, if you're not in the wrong place, doing the wrong thing, this place is pretty safe. Actually, it's really safe. At least that's been my experience, and I've been to lots of places, even some places I probably shouldn't have been. But overall, there's a warmth and a kinship that I received from Puerto Rican people. That incident that happened over there is just, you look at any of your local news channels, and you'll have things like that happening also. So it's no more dangerous over here. Again, the one thing that slipped by in the report was the person asked, well, how much of those? I think it was, they gave some number. I don't want to give a false number of the number of murders that happened in Puerto Rico, and it probably is equivalent or possibly more than some areas that are in the States. However, the reporter asked, said, well, how much of this was drug related? And they said 100%. That tells you that, you're coming over here, you're a tourist, you come here with no ill intents. Well, let me tell you something about Puerto Rico. I've been here 3 years, 5 years combined. I was also here from 98 to 2000 in a work capacity. Okay, so now I've been here almost 3 years. And in those 3 years, I've gone to different places. I've been to the beach, been to churches, bars, you name it. I've been there. I've been trying to really be involved in the culture and in the things that are going on here. Because, again, I always say that, or at least I mean it, that's where the growth is. You go places you haven't been, that's where the growth is. Anything other than that, you're sort of standing in mud. And you have to believe that about yourself in life. And let me get back on track anyway. We're talking about Puerto Rico. Well, as I was saying, the people, they receive you very warm. They always really want to talk to you. They want to know about you. They want to know about your circumstances, what brought you here. I can tell you about some great things. In fact, I'll start off with the things that I consider to not be so great. First and foremost, the condition of the roads here is just horrendous. It's terrible. It was bad before the storm. And now after the storm is even worse because during the storm there was a lot more larger vehicles on the road. So there's a lot of movement, and it created even more potholes to the ones that were already there. In addition, the power got knocked out there, so there's large strips of area still here in Puerto Rico that have absolutely no light. So driving at night can be a challenge. And that's not anything that a little infrastructure money couldn't take care of. Well, actually, a lot of infrastructure money, but this place should have the privileges that all the other states have. I think so. It didn't take this long to get Florida back up or Texas back up, but here at Puerto Rico, the roads are still in terrible shape. And the power company is still kind of shaky. Power doesn't go off here often. It went off last week for about a day. And that's not anything that's been common as of lately. I live out on the west end of the island in a town called Aguadilla. Aguadilla is a small, it's a mid-sized city. It kind of reminds me of the place that I came from, which was Douglasville, Georgia. Funny how things like that, it'll equate. We'll think that it's such a far world away and it's so different. Look, let me tell y'all something. Look straight into this camera if I don't tell you anything else. Out of all the places that I've been, and out of all the people that I met, here's what I'll tell you. So you don't believe the hype, and I'll say this in a country way so you guys in the South understand it. Folks just trying to live, y'all. Folks just trying to live. I don't care what their complexion is, from the whitest white to the darkest of browns. Folks are just trying to live. That's all we're trying to do, And I hadn't, in my travels, I hadn't received any aggressions. I hadn't felt uncomfortable in any position. In fact, they make you feel actually more than welcome, more welcome than I'm accustomed to. You know, when you walk in a place, they notice you. Hey, I'm a 6-foot black guy, and there aren't many 6-foot black guys. I'm a gringo, that's an American to them. So they kind of wanna they'll want to talk to you about anything you want to talk to them about. Or they want to talk to you about their culture. They're going to want you to share in their culture. They're really going to want you to feel at home. And that's been my experience time and time again. If I have a thing that I say to my wife, if I don't want to talk to anyone, I better stay in the house, because someone's going to want to talk to you about something, you know. And I can't tell you that everybody loves you, but I imagine the ones that don't, apparently they stay away from you. But I've been all over, and I've seen all kinds of people, and they always treat you warm. That's that. That's pretty much it as far as the Puerto Rican people are concerned. Again, I tell you, like I said, let me get back on track again. That infrastructure is just a terrible thing, you know. But again, that Maria came through here, and that was a terrible, terrible storm. You know, anybody that was here to go through that, you should never have to go through anything like that. And then to go through that and not receive the absolute response that your government, your government is capable of. I didn't feel as though that happened. I'm sitting here, I'm watching this up close and personal, and I'm not suffering as much as some, but trust me, there's suffering going on, and there still continues to be suffering here. I don't know what the details of the politics are. They'll say, oh well, it's the politicians in the middle that say, well, I don't know what it was. All I know is that there are things that should have gotten done, and there are things that should be getting done right now that are not getting done. I blame it from the top to the bottom. So, you know, I come from an environment where, you know, the job has to be done. You know, and some of these people pay their taxes. They have an 11.5% sales tax here. 11.5%, so they pay more than their share. You know how many bodies they give over to the military here? You know how much high regard they have for the military here? I see boys and girls heading out of this place to go and fight the battles. And then they have to come back home to this after the storm. You know, I feel passionate about that. Something needs to be done about that. So anyway, moving off from that, let's move on to, let's go to something positive. Let's talk about these beautiful beaches. Man, look, world-class beaches. I live real close to a beach called Crash Boat. I'm on the west end. There's a prominent surf beach called Rincon Beach. Rincon also is an area where there's a high expat population, where most of the community, there'll be a large influx of surfers. People will go out there. I imagine they get deeper ways. To get into the surfing part, you'd have to get with my son. He's a surfer. I don't know anything. You know what? Let's pause that. I'll take it to this point. There are things in life that I've never done that I know a lot about. Surfing is one of them. I know a pretty good bit about surfing. NASCAR. You know what I know about NASCAR? Because I was around people that knew about NASCAR. They loved NASCAR. I was always willing to listen. After it was over, I always knew things about NASCAR. There are things that my son has taught me about surfing that I had no idea about. He came over here. He fell in love with it. This is a surfing environment. It's a water sport environment. He's got involved in it, and it's all made his life all the richer. People think that living these type of lifestyles is a difficult thing, but it's just a matter of kind of jumping and going. You think we can? I remember back when I first came here in 98. In 98, how I got here was I asked for the job. And it was always a fearful thing to come over here for other people. I had no fear. You could either, it's sad to fail, but you can fail sitting on your hands. So I never approached things that didn't matter. See I get to going off script. Let's get back to Puerto Rico. What y'all think of my picture right here? Nice picture right there. Thanks, Ali, if you're watching this video. Okay, Let's talk about, and I don't want to go too long in this video. We're 9 minutes and 42 seconds. It's just a little rambling video, kind of open myself up and kind of open this island up and kind of share some things to people about the beauty of this island and the beauty of the people on this island. As of this past weekend, I attended the San Sebastian Festival, which was, in my opinion, one of the craziest things I've ever experienced. It was just saturated with people. Now, let's say this here. Now, I don't know how many people were down there, but it was barely walking room. And people were all on top of each other. Everybody was having a good time. And there was absolutely no violence, no problem that I saw. And we were all over that place. You know, it was just people, everybody relaxed. You have to realize people come here to relax. Isn't that crazy how people come here to relax to a place where people live that lifestyle? When you can take that lifestyle with you. I tell my friends, I said, man, imagine this here. People go on vacation and they take these trips. Think about it. If you jump on a cruise ship, you're like, oh, I'm getting on a cruise ship. I'm going out of the country. Yeah, but you're taking the country with you on the cruise ship. All your friends, nothing's wrong with that. But if you really want to get away, you have to get away. And one thing I found out is that, man, you kind of got to get outside the box to get the adventure. Here's an example of something. Back since '98 when I was here, there was this place called La Perla, which is over it's near Old San Juan. So it's on the eastern part of the island. Man, they would always say, don't go down there. They would make it seem like they kidnap you as soon as you get down there. And I go down there this past weekend at the San Sebastian Festival. Come what I found out. Guess what I found out? I missed a lot of time of going down there because it was a nice, fun place. I'm not saying it couldn't have been shady at times, but it wasn't a place that I would have avoided at the level 10 of these that someone had told me. So that just lets you know, if you listen to what people tell you and you don't take the time to go and see it yourself, you're never going to know. You have to go and see for yourself. Go get passports, people, and see the world. It's not as expensive as you think. You may think, hey, Puerto Rico or wherever you want to go is so far and it's so expensive to go. That's just because you hadn't checked. It could be just as expensive to go across to another state. And you're experiencing the same culture, the same thing, and you're talking out of the box, but you're living out in the box, and you have no idea what's going on outside there. I understand. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with wanting to live a certain life in a certain place. However, what I am letting you know is that there are going to be some things that you're going to be uninformed about because all of your information is getting piped in. In order to really get information in life, you have to go out and get that information. And I've learned that just time and time again in life by stretching my neck out. Sometimes you get hit in the head. So be it. It happens, you know. But every single day that you're working in life, I think that you should be pursuing higher ground, reaching for higher fruit. You're doing that for you. You're doing that for the people the next generation of people around you. I'm a true believer in that. I'm a believer in that you should be trying to better yourself every single day, all the time. Quit making excuses. I noticed I didn't intend on this being a motivational video, but it's hard not to get into my head and kind of reach out to people. Look here, this is me reaching out to you. If I'm talking to you and I'm reaching you and you understand what I'm saying, take charge of your life and find a happy space. I have a couple of compliments that I consider the greatest compliments in the world when anybody will ever say these things to me. If you're ever in my home, if you come to my home, first thing, when people say, man, there's peace in your home. That's not anything you can fake. When you come, you're going to feel it. Just like if you come and then there's not peace. Or they give me compliments on my children. That's it. Because I know that's been the job of me and my wife, to put a peaceful environment around our children, a learning environment, an environment where they want to grow, give them opportunities. I used to send my daughter and my son over here every year. There was a reason behind that, because I wanted them to have a good grasp of the Spanish language and the other side of their culture. I want them to have a relationship with all. I took them home to my family, and we brought them home to her family. And they have an understanding of both cultures. And the more you can learn, I can remember the first person that I saw that wasn't either black or white. I was like 12 years old, and it was a Japanese lady. A guy brought her, I don't know if he'd married her, but it was his girlfriend. He brought her back from the military. As far as I knew, I honestly was so, it's just what we had. I only thought that, I didn't know anything about Japanese. And I was so intrigued when I started talking to this lady, that stuck with me. I said, when I get a chance, I'm going to Japan. And as soon as I got in the military, you know, my ASVABs were good enough where they were like, plus I was signed up for 6 years. They were like, well, you can choose your job and you can choose where you want to go. I said, I want to be an engineer. I like to build things. And I would like to go to Japan. I just wanted to see. I know that was just far away. I could always get back home. And I've been working my way back home, through home, and around ever since. And I've landed here for now. And I want you guys all to understand that. I guess this is my shout out to people from Puerto Rico to say Puerto Rico is a great place. You know, it's a great place to come and kind of unwind and unbreathe and breathe. People always talk. I tell people, think about this here. Let's do the count of an average vacation. People get 2 weeks off. Okay, so say for instance you're going somewhere where you got to fly. You got to fly, so you can't go too far. 2 weeks. You can't stay gone too long. So I think that you actually get about 2 weeks, 14. That's 14 days. That's, say you take a day travel out, a day travel in, so you're down to 12 days now already, and then the last day you're preparing to leave, and you're preparing before and all that, so you're not getting a good 10 days of real vacation. And their vacation is in a vacation area. It's not in an area, you're not in an area where different people of different culture are just living and not trying to get a dollar out of you. You just can get in an area where they're living, and you can get to see that there are some people that are going to live a lot higher than you, and there are going to be a lot of people that live a lot lower than you. But like I told you earlier in the video, folks just trying to live, and that's just true. You get out there and you'll see that, and people are beautiful, and they'll treat you warm, and they'll treat you kind. You just got to kind of open up yourself to it. This comes from a guy that's been as closed off as a guy can be. That's just the way I am. I've always kind of been reserved in my approach and focused more than anything, because I always kind of worked without a net. Down was down. You know, when you're down, you're out. You're going to have to get up, dust yourself up, and you are responsible for that yourself when you know that. And as a man, hint, hint to you youngsters out there, as a man, once you get a woman, you're responsible for that woman. She's responsible for you too. Once you dedicate yourself to her, she's supposed to dedicate herself to you, and you're responsible. And certainly here's the important part to you young men and young women. When the baby comes along, the craziness is over. It's time to be 1,000% responsible for your child. And I've always believed in that. And you should always believe in that. And if you're responsible for your child, you ain't got no time for no mess. You ain't got no time for no craziness, because you're too busy pouring yourself. One, you got to be responsible for you, so you're pouring yourself in there. Then those other extensions that you have out there, that you have to work on them. If you spend your time working on that, in the end, over time, it'll always work out, because you were a responsible person. You didn't take time to take. You think I'm gonna take food out of my child's mouth to go and be doing this and doing that? No. That just doesn't work. That didn't work for me. And if you out there doing that, shame on you. And you know who I'm talking to. Shame on you. If you're not out there, if you're crying and you don't have this, well, if you're a young man or a young woman and you got a child and you don't have something, fine, go get 2 jobs. Get 1 job doing this and 1 job doing that. If you don't have 2 jobs, get 1 job and a hustle, which is even better. But if you got time to sleep and get up and play video games and do that thing, you on the wrong track. So anyway, back to Puerto Rico. Ramblin' James. We're almost 1851 into this. Hopefully I still got somebody around. I'm just rambling off. I really want to give you a kind of good feel of Puerto Rico and how much love I have for this place, and the experiences I've had. I guess I'll continue talking on and continue trying to show you guys a little bit of the good, the bad, and the ugly of this place. It doesn't have that much ugly, really, you know what I mean? Get us a little bit of money, and we kind of sweep things and get everything nice and shiny. And it's what the tourist industry, the storm really took a big chunk out of us when it came through. Now, I noticed that you know, you can't stay away from this place. So the tourists are starting to come back a little bit more. There's been a lot of things that got renewed. Apparently there's a lot of insurance money that came out, and businesses, they took the money and they did proper by it. They repaired their businesses and made things look better. Excuse me, and they started getting people out. So anyway, that's enough about Puerto Rico. Fine, let's talk about health. That's what I'm talking about. That's my thing. I like talking about health. If you're still here, you either go get a drink of water or leave the video, because we're going to talk about a little bit of health. All right? Let's talk about health. I am 51 years old right now. All right? And at 51 years old, actually at about 40 years old, I realized something. Man, if you don't start taking care of yourself, things are going to start falling off. Things are going to start falling off. Things are going to start breaking. Just like a car. If you don't change the oil and you don't take care of it, things are going to start falling off and things are going to start breaking. So let's talk about, when I worked, I did these things that were called PMs, preventive maintenance. You know what preventive maintenance is? Preventive maintenance is things that you can take care of before things break down. So, hey, give you an example of something. You can get your lazy self up tomorrow morning and go and walk a mile. You cannot drink 4 sodas. You could drink 3. You could, I don't know, eat more vegetables. Eat less carbs. Put down the chips. All this stuff pays back. All of this stuff pays back. I am not a clean eater. But I don't eat bad as a lot of you. I don't really eat fast food. I guess I am sort of a clean eater. Every now and then I get carb cravings. But my advantage is not, my strength is not in my curtailing my appetite. So strict. And I say that I think at times I don't give myself enough credit, because I do get results. I do get results. However, my strength is, and I'll get up and I'll go run, and I'll go to the gym. Those are my strengths. So I use those strengths. However, check this out where it works. This shows you how it works. See my wife? Her strength is in the food. She'll say no, she don't want it in a minute. So I'll watch her do that. And then I go eat it anyway. But I'm just letting you know, she does that. I'm gonna eat it anyway. So I already told you my strength's not in the food. So what I do is when she leaves, then I eat it. Don't tell her I said that. But that's really what happens. Anyway, I'm working on it. Everybody has their weaknesses. But you know what I do? I get up and I give something to myself. If I give you something to do, here's what I'll tell you what you should do. I'll tell you how to start your morning. Who wants to know? I'm waiting. I'll tell you what you do. If you want to know, like the video. I'm going to tell you anyway. Here's what I do in the morning. First thing in the morning, I get up very early. It's just a habit, whether I got anything to do or not. Back many years ago, I started getting up at 5:30 and 4 o'clock religiously. And I'd go out and run, meditate, whatever. And I still do that to today. I just don't get up exactly at 5 o'clock, 5:30 in the morning. I don't set the alarm. But funny thing is, I get up at that time. Sometimes it'll be 3. When I want to get up, I get up. I get up, and I don't really have my mind on anything, but I do put my shoes on still, first thing in the morning. Put your sneakers on, and that kind of gets me in the mindset. I say, well, even if I don't feel like it, I say I'm going to walk. And usually when I walk, I'll end up running. And that kind of keeps things moving. I've done a lot of fasts. I first started off with juice fasting. I've done juice fasting. I did water fasting, and I did dry fasting. To be extreme, I've done 5 days of dry fasting. That means I've gone 5 days, what they call a hard dry fast. There are different kinds. There's a hard dry fast. That means, well, let me start off on the left there. There's a water fast. That means you consume nothing but water. Well, I'm going backwards. Let me start off again. First is juice fast. That's where you mix your fruit and veggies, mostly fruit, mostly vegetables. You juice that. That's difficult. You got to clean up all that, but it gives you your body all the nutrition that you need. You can do that for an extended long time. I think I ended up doing that for about 20 days, and I felt quite a bit of effect from it. After that, I ended up doing water fasting, and I got results out of water fasting. I really didn't like it because you're hungry. Then I did the dry fast. The dry fast is where there are 2 types of dry fast. There's a soft and a hard. Soft dry fast is where, you take a shower, you brush your teeth and all that stuff, but you just don't drink any water or eat anything. Okay. The other one is hard dry fast, no water contact. I went hardcore. I did a hard dry fast. It wasn't really that hard. In fact, I did 2.5, just to see. And the first one I did was because I wanted to lose some weight, and I lost a lot of weight fast. I did like 5 days, and man, you lose like 3 to 4 pounds a day, But again, I'm just telling you what I did. I'm not telling you to go out there and do no dry fast. But I'm telling you what I did and the results that came. So I lost a lot of weight doing that. And basically what it did for me, it leaned me out quite a bit. And I didn't really lose any muscle mass. And I wasn't hungry, But then again, this is a guy that's getting up running all the time. So, because what they say it does, it cleans your cell and just really detoxifies your body. I did it because I just would have gut issues all the time. And pretty much that was one of the only things that seemed to sort of get my gut issues to kind of working. Well, not one of the only things that I would do things that would progressively get it better and better and better. That's what I would do. And over time, it's getting better, but I can say I felt the most impact off of fasting. When you think about it, the way it was explained was like, we weren't designed to be eating all day like that. I guess unless you want to be some sort of bodybuilder or something like that, but we weren't really designed to be eating three. Because think about this here. I remember when I used to work at 2 o'clock, because I ate at 12. At 2 o'clock, I'm sleepy and having a hard time staying up. Well, that's because your body has taken all of this energy from you and started shifting it into digesting all of that food. Well, if you're eating these 3 hot and 4 and snacking all day, your body is constantly processing food. That means you never get a break. Your gut never gets a break to sort of clean itself out. Your body flushes itself out if you give it a rest. Your blood will clean itself. And all that stuff will come out of you. You'll know that something has happened when you try it, when you do a fast. I'm not recommending it for anyone. I'm just letting you know my experiences and what I received out of it, and maybe possibly some of the benefits that you can get out of it. See, I went way from Puerto Rico to talking about fasting and health. But anyway, since I've been doing this, trying to live a healthy lifestyle, and I hadn't really figured out how long I've been doing it, but it's been quite a while. It's been been a while. It's been 5-6 years. And what ended up making me, since I really kind of was like, I got to do something with this. I can't live like I'm there. Because, think about this, man. If however many more years you live, if you have control of how you live that life, at least physically, or how you think you want to look, or how you want to feel about yourself, or who cares what other people feel about you? We out with that. Well, it's just how you feel about yourself, how you feel about in your being. This guy that's looking from the outside in, how I feel about myself and what I can bring to the world and what I can do. How do I feel about that? Well, I want to be the best. I want to be good at what I do. I want to pass that on. And one time someone told me that, said, look, man, if you take all the things and the information that you gained over the years with you to your grave, you're doing a disservice. And that's pretty much what this rambling is all about. And I hope some people out there appreciate it. Again, I want to ask this. If you appreciate this like that, I'm talking to your sons and daughters too. That helps with them, because we're a fat generation. We're fat, we're angry people. And that can be cured. We got to relax. We got to get away. We got to really take care of ourselves and learn to love ourselves again. I'm learning to re-fall in love with myself. I mean, we all break at some point. We all go astray. We all have our weaknesses. There's nothing perfect about any one of us, but we're working on being perfect, and we should be working on being perfect, and we should be working on being better. And we should be working on lifting each other up and being happy and smiling. When I see the advantage to have this social media thing is that you can reach out to people quickly, and when I see people out there with their children doing things and celebrating life, I understand that that's where the joys of life are, and that you really got to appreciate that. And you should be going forward and, again, living your best life. That guy couldn't have made a more appropriate song. You just, you don't really care you shouldn't care what other people think. You should just live your best life. But don't convince yourself you're living your best life if you know you're not putting your best foot forward and you're not working hard at it. I'm not really concerned about the struggles. We've all got our struggles. We all got our pains, but we got to get up, get going, make the best choices we can make. I told you about one of my weaknesses. That's just one. I got a whole list. But boy, let me tell you about the list of my strengths. And if I can tell you about my list of my strengths, you should tell me about your list of your strengths, because you're a strong person too. And I hope that this video helps someone. Gave you a little information about Puerto Rico, gave you a little information about me, and hopefully it motivates you with a little information about yourself. So we're 30 minutes. I didn't think I'd talk that long. I hope we all grew from this. I knew I got to run my mouth. There we go. C. James Speaks from Puerto Rico.